everyone. Welcome to our webinar. My name is Cruz, and I'm one of the dedicated account managers here at Mango Languages. And today I'm going to be joined by my colleague, Sabrina Richardson, to highlight and explore some of the New Year celebrations and traditions around the world. And we are also going to be sharing with you some of the tips and ideas you can use to cross-promote Mango with your language and cultural resources at your library. All right, so let's start off by talking about food. And as you probably already know, food is an important element in many New Year celebrations. Some of these foods are meant to be shared with friends and family, while others bring you good luck and fortune, which is the case of the 12 lucky grapes before midnight. So in Spain, Portugal, and much of Latin America, people start off the new year by eating 12 grapes before the new year. This tradition started back in the late 19th century and is believed to ward off evil and boost your chances of getting a prosperous and lucky new year. However, this only works if you manage to eat all those grapes in a matter of seconds. So since all of these 12 grapes need to be eaten by the time that the clock strikes midnight, I highly recommend that you use smaller grapes since they are easy to eat or swallow. And this is actually a tradition that we practice in my family. So I have become an expert on shoveling grapes in my mouth. And let me tell you, this is not it is not as easy as it sounds. And for my family, the grapes also represent 12 wishes or New Year's resolutions for the month of the new year, for each month of the new year. So I know a lot of families also do the same thing. And in Italy, lentils are believed to bring good luck for the new year. So for Italians, cotechino and lenticchie is a special New Year's Day traditional meal because it combines the two symbols of good luck. So the lentils, which are shaped like coins, they represent a promise of wealth. And pigs are believed to be an animal that eats moving forward. So it symbolizes a year of hope and good fortune. So this is a tradition that dates back to the ancient Roman times, where they used to give a pouch of lentils as gifts to wish their friends and family luck and prosperity in the new year. And in Germany and in Austria, they have a sweet way to celebrate the new year. Germans also believe the pigs are a symbol of wealth. So they celebrate the New Year's by eating Gutschwein, which are pig-shaped marzipan candies, which literally means lucky pig, are believed to bring financial luck for the year ahead. And they are often given as gifts between Christmas and New Year's. So it's very common for kids in Germany to get a lucky pig in their shoes on St. Nicholas Day. It's also tradition for Austrians to cook pork ribs, roast, or pork chops on New Year's Eve. And they served it normally with fresh horseradish or lentils to wish their friends and family Guten Rutsch before midnight, which literally means sliding well into next year. And I apologize about my pronunciation. Not really good at speaking German. All right, so now moving on to some delicious fruits. In the Philippines, on New Year's Eve, families make sure to always have 12 round fruits to start the new year. And round fruits are believed to represent prosperity and wealth due to their shape, which symbolizes coins. So the number 12 is also believed to be a lucky number, and each fruit represents 1 month of the year. So some of the fruits that are considered lucky are apples, grapes, plums, watermelon, lemons, oranges, pineapples, peaches, mangoes, guavas, and there's, just to name a few. However, if you don't want to buy 12 different round fruits, you can also just opt to wear clothing that have polka dots, or you can do both as well. However, if you're looking for something to keep you warm during those cold winter nights, you might want to celebrate the new year with a nice warm bowl of soup. And in South Korea, they like to celebrate the new year with a hot bowl of toku. And toku is a rice cake soup made from broth, and it has rice cakes and vegetables, and is usually garnished with slices of egg, marinated meat, seaweed, and sesame oil. The South Korean New Year is also known as the Seolu, this New Year usually falls in late January or early February. And the soup is believed to bring those who eat the soup good luck in the new year. And it's also a way to gain a year of age. So definitely recommend that one. And for those of you who might have a sweet tooth, you can celebrate the new year with cake and coins. So in Bolivia, Greece, and also in Bulgaria, they like to celebrate the new year by sharing a cake with a hidden coin inside. So it's a tradition to bake a cake with the coin inside, and the person who receives the slice of cake with the hidden coin is believed to have a prosperous year ahead of them. All right, so now we're going to move on to traditional dishes that people like to enjoy during the New Year celebrations. And in Japan, people like to celebrate by sharing a warm bowl of soba noodles on New Year's Eve. Toshikoshi soba is a traditional noodle bowl dish that dates back to the Kamakura period, and is tied to a Buddhist temple giving out the noodles to the poor people. And Toshikoshi soba literally means year crossing soba. So it's a way to jump from the old year to the new year. And eating the soup symbolizes a literally break away from the hardships and the misfortunes of the past year and welcoming the new year. So toshikoshi soba is a very simple soup that is made from buckwheat soba noodles, and is served in a hot dashi broth, and is garnished with scallions. But you can also add other toppings like tempura, fish cakes, or raw eggs. And talking about foods that warm your soul, tamales are also another dish that is commonly shared among friends and family during the New Year celebrations in Mexico and also other Latin American countries. So tamales are made from masa, which is a corn dough, and is stuffed with either meat, cheese, fruits, vegetables, and it also has a sauce that is made from herbs and chilies. And they're wrapped in either banana leaves or corn husks, and then the tamales are steamed. Tamales are more than just a delicious treat. You know, they have become a symbol of family and love. And it's also very common for everyone to gather around in the kitchen to help make tamales, because it's a very labor-intensive dish. It takes many, many hours to make. So this is a tradition that has been passed from generation to generation. And for many families, including my family, tamales have become part of the New Year celebrations, and also obviously a labor of love. Also, just a quick tip for those of you who have never had tamales before, please remove the corn husk before you eat it. And I promise, that it will taste so much better once you do that. You have no idea how many times I've seen people take a bite of a tamal with the corn husk still wrap around it. So it doesn't taste as good. So now we're moving on to other non-food related traditions. And if you're in Denmark, tradition says that you should shatter some plates against the front door of your friend's house. And they believe that this will ward off bad spirits and welcome happier vibes, but it's also a sign of affection and friendship. So in some areas of Denmark, people even save broken dishes throughout the year, so then they can, obviously for New Year's, they can go and shatter the plates on their friend's front door. And they normally do this right at the stroke of midnight. So this tradition has become a measurement of popularity. And the deeper the pile of broken dishes you find at your front door, the more popular and loved you are. And in South Africa, they also like to get rid of all objects during the New Year celebrations. So this is not a widely adopted practice throughout the country, but in certain areas, they believe that the physical act of tossing unused goods from a window sends a signal to the universe that you have let go to past grievances and that you're hopeful for the new year. And obviously, it's also a great way to get rid of, unwanted furniture that you might have in your house. So, and if you're in Brazil, it's a tradition to wear all white. So the color white represents peace and also brings you a year of luck, wonder, and adventure. And right after the clock strikes midnight, people also like to head over to the sea, and they jump over 7 waves. So when you're jumping the 7 waves, they also like to make a wish for each jump that they make. And 7 is also considered a lucky number in Brazil, which is the reason why they jump 7 waves. And this is a tradition that comes from the Candomblé Africa religion. And it's a way to attract peace and happiness. And that's where the color white also comes from. However, if you're wishing for a new year filled with trips, then you might want to put your running shoes on and carry around an empty suitcase around the block. And this is a popular tradition in Colombia, and many Colombians will run around their block as fast as they can while carrying around an empty suitcase. And the legend says that if you're in good spirits and you do this the right way, meaning without tripping or falling, that you are guaranteed at least one trip during the new year. But if you're just looking for a little bit of good fortune, then you might want to start the new year by smashing a pomegranate against your front door. And in Turkey, they believe that good fortune for the coming year depends on the number of seeds that fly out of the pomegranate after smashing it against your front door. And pomegranates are also considered an important fruit in Turkey, and the fruit symbolizes strength, fertility, and also eternity. So it's definitely a lucky fruit to have. And if you're just looking for a fun and maybe artistic way to say goodbye to the old year and welcome the new year, you can also do it by burning the old year, also known as the old man. And in many villages in India, boys get together in their villages to build a structure that looks like an old man. They build it using things like grass, paper, sticks, and old clothes. And then the old man is in display in a prominent location in their village. And then they burn it at exactly midnight. And the old man symbolizes the old year, and the burning of it symbolizes the passing of grievances and starting a fresh new year. So I also learned throughout my research that many of the countries in Latin America have similar traditions like this one. So this is, truly a popular and a creative way to celebrate and welcome the new year around the world. All right, so now Sabrina is going to be sharing with us a few other New Year celebrations and also ways that you can cross promote Mango at your library.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you, Cruz, for all that fun information. So to keep the fun New Year's traditions aspect going. So in addition to smashing pomegranates, another really common New Year celebration in Greece is to hang an onion outside of your door. So because of an onion's ability to essentially sprout on its own, it is believed that onions symbolize fertility and growth. So to kind of channel these aspects in Greece, it's a very common New Year's tradition to hang onions outside of your front door after a church service on New Year's Day. So this is a good way to kind of try to bring in those aspects of fertility, growth, prosperity, all of that good stuff into your home to kick off the new year. Cruz also mentioned how in Brazil, a common thing is to wear the color white to help channel things like peace, luck, wonder, and adventure. Well, that's not the only place where wearing a specific color is a common New Year's tradition. So in Brazil, in Ecuador in particular, and in a lot of other Latin American countries, it's really common for people to wear a specific article of clothing in a particular color to channel a specific benefit or blessing for the new year. It's very common for this particular article of clothing to be a pair of underwear. However, it's also really common for it to be a shirt or a dress or a pair of pants or something like that. But essentially, the idea is to manifest these blessings into the new year by showing exactly what you want. So, for example, the color yellow is seen to channel good luck and happiness in the new year. If you're someone who is looking for love in the new year, it's recommended in tradition you wear red on that day. And if you're looking for a financially prosperous year, it's recommended that you wear the color green to highlight that. Another tradition that, while it does involve food, it's not so much for eating. In Ireland, a very common New Year's tradition is to bang a piece of Christmas bread against the wall. So the idea behind this is that by banging the bread against the wall, you are warding off bad luck and evil spirits and chasing them away from the home. And in doing so, that is inviting in good luck and positive spirits. So essentially, it's something that the entire family does because you're trying to bring all of those good vibes into the house. But yeah, by banging the bread against the walls, you're getting out of all those bad vibes, and then you're opening the door to bring in goodness and healthy aspects for a prosperous new year. So far, all of the traditions that we have talked about are things that are typically celebrated either on New Year's Eve or on January 1st to actually kick off the new year. However, we also want to highlight the Chinese New Year. So the cool part about the Chinese New Year is that it doesn't actually fall on the same day every single year. It is almost always within the time frame of late January or early February, but the first day for the Chinese New Year is determined by the lunar cycle. So whenever a new moon is coming into effect in that time period, that will be the first day to kick off the Chinese New Year. So for 2023, the first day for the Chinese New Year is January 22nd. And the other cool thing about the Chinese New Year is that every year is correlated with a different animal. So the Chinese calendar does go in a cycle of 12 years. So there are 12 different animals that symbolize each of the different years within the cycle. So this year, 2022, we're currently in the year of the tiger. But next year, 2023, it will be the year of the rabbit. And the rabbit is believed to symbolize, again, fertility and growth. These are very common themes for kicking off the new year. But it is commonly believed that whatever particular year that you were born in and whatever animal is representative of that year, you will have some types of characteristics with that animal. So the Chinese New Year, it is a celebration that lasts a little over 2 weeks. So it typically lasts for 15 days. And it starts with what is typically referred to as the Spring Festival and then ends with the Lantern Festival. So with the Spring Festival, it essentially kind of signals the start of new life. It's a new moon, it's new growth. We're coming into a new season of life. So that's what you kick it off with. So while the entire celebration does last for a little over 2 weeks, the first couple days are the biggest and most celebrated time of the Chinese New Year. So you'll see a lot of festivals, a lot of parades. One thing that is very common in parades is for big dragon decorations that are oftentimes carried by multiple people throughout the streets. You'll see a lot of those as a celebration. But when it ends with the Lantern Festival, so then you will also see a lot of beautifully colored lanterns. So the Lantern Festival, essentially, it is all about reconciliation. So it kind of symbolizes reconciliation, the coming of peace and forgiveness for anything that may have happened in the year prior. So people will either hang up these beautifully colored lanterns from street poles, from the ceilings, just all around cities, or sometimes they're even released into the sky. And this is a really big family event. So it's something that you do to celebrate with your family, your close friends, or your very close to loved ones. Another fun thing that happens very commonly during the Chinese New Year is that children are typically gifted small red envelopes that have money inside. So they're typically given these in lieu of gifts. And there can be any amount of money within these little envelopes, and the children can spend it on whatever they want to. However, traditionally, you don't want it to be any amount that includes the number 4. And even more ideally is an amount that is not quite easily divisible by 4. And that is because the number 4 in Chinese, it sounds very similar to the word that is used for death. So it is seen as a thing of bad luck in many ways. So similarly to how a lot of American buildings will skip the 13th floor because that's unlucky. A random fun fact is that a lot of Chinese buildings will avoid the 4th floor because of that. So now that we've talked a little bit about some fun things that happen around the world to celebrate the coming of the new year, which is quickly approaching us, we also want to highlight a couple ways in which you can promote not only Mango, but other resources that you already have in the library. So one quick and easy one is to encourage, it's a new year, learn a new language. So it's really common for people to set New Year's resolutions where they want to achieve a new goal, learn a new skill, make a change for the better, whatever it may be in the new year. So by encouraging patrons to learn a new language, to celebrate the new year, that opens a ton of different doors. So another thing too, to kind of go off of that, here on the screen, you see an example of our 2023 calendar of world and language holidays. So this is a really great tool to utilize, not only for celebrating the coming of the new year, but to kind of continue celebrating and promoting Mango and language and culture learning throughout the entire year. You can see there's a list of different world and language holidays that happen throughout the world over the next year. And then there are recommendations for a specific Mango course that you can leverage to promote those holidays. So also speaking of New Year's resolution, a way that you can cross promote within the library using resources that you already have. Sometimes people will want to strive to travel more throughout the new year, or to become a better cook and learn how to cook new recipes and things like that. Or maybe to get in touch with their family heritage and learn more about their ancestry. So utilizing things that you have in your library, such as travel books, cookbooks, any ancestry resources that you might work with, those are all really great opportunities to cross promote with those things and Mango. So for example, if you have any display areas within the library, we've had a lot of people have success with posting, say, travel books, for example. So you can say, hey, in the new year, are you interested in traveling to France? Here are a couple really great books that you can utilize to learn more about different locations, different histories, and things like that. And then you can also use Mango to actually learn some French that you can utilize while you're there. Something that doesn't quite have to do with the new year, but that is in this time a really great opportunity to promote Mango. It's time for the World Cup again. So while the World Cup does typically take place during the summer, this time around it does go between November 20th and December 18th. So Mango has a really great variety of specialty courses, but one in particular that I'd like to highlight is our soccer celebrations course. So we have a soccer celebrations specialty course available for both Latin American Spanish and Brazilian Portuguese. That is a really great opportunity to promote during the World Cup. But aside from those courses, obviously the World Cup involves a lot of different countries that speak a lot of different languages. So with Mango having more than 70 different world languages, that's a really great opportunity to promote the resource and say, hey, if you want to root for this team, you can also learn the language that they speak and get even more excited about it. So those are a couple things that we have available online for you in what we call the Mango Market. For those of you who might not already be familiar with the Mango Market, it is essentially where we have all of our promotional materials available for you. And you are provided with an annual spending credit each year to use on these materials. So if there's anyone who has not taken advantage of it already, we definitely encourage it. You will have until the end of December to take advantage of this year's credit, and then it will, of course, be refreshed for next year. But here on the screen, you can see a couple examples of different flyers that we have. So one of them highlights Mango's Family Profiles feature, which essentially allows up to 5 additional family profiles within every Mango profile. So for families who might be looking to learn a new language as their New Year's resolution, this is a really great feature to promote so that we can kind of get the whole family in and encourage it as a group. Another great thing that we have available in the market is our 30 Days of Language Challenge. So this is great to promote for any month that has 30 days. Essentially, every day has a different task for a language learner to complete. So things like introduce yourself in your new language, look up a recipe from a culture that speaks the language that you're learning, or learn how to point out different common household items in that language. So this is something that you can easily download. And then we also have a fun flyer that teaches you how to say Happy New Year in our top 9 different languages. So this one in particular is great to promote during this time of year.
So I know Erin Owen had a question for us about the 2023 calendar and if we have a PDF version that she can access. And you can find this in the Mango Market under events calendar. And like Sabrina mentioned, we do have the 2023 calendar of world and language holiday already up. So you can access that through the Mango Market.
So in addition to those flyers, again, we also have some really great physical materials on the Mango Market that we encourage you to take advantage of. Things like t-shirts, tote bags, highlighters. we have a really great variety of things that you can utilize to promote Mango on the website. And not even just the website, we also have a fantastic YouTube channel that you can utilize as well. So I'm going to pass the mic back to Cruz to talk about that a little bit more.
Yes, thank you, Sabrina. So we also want you to know that Mango has a dedicated YouTube channel for libraries. And our YouTube channel has many helpful videos that you can share with your library staff or also just with your patrons. So we have tutorials on how to sign up for Mango and how to navigate through the program. And these tutorials are available in English and also Spanish if you have any Spanish patrons that would like to start using Mango. And this is also where you can find our webinar recordings, including this one. So if you're unable to attend the webinar in person, or if you would like to share the recording with other library staff members, please visit our YouTube channel and you'll be able to find all of those videos in there. And last but not least, if your library is looking to offer a new language learning resource for your little patrons, this is a great time to do that. We are currently offering a 25% discount to all of our new Little Pimp subscriptions. So if you're interested in adding Little Pimp to your Mango subscription, please reach out to your account manager and we will be more than happy to give you a demo or a free trial and provide you with more information. And that wraps up the end of our final webinar for this year. So we would like to finish by thanking you for joining us today and for continuing your partnership with Mango. And we couldn't be who we are without our libraries.
Please always feel free to reach out to either Cruz or myself with any questions, any way that we can support you. But again, we want to thank you all for joining us and wish you a happy new year.
Libraries are the backbone of their community, supporting and empowering ambitions far beyond their doors. As we grow ever more diverse, so does the need to connect in another language. Fulfill your patrons' thirst for knowledge with a digital resource available anytime, anywhere. Because when language is an adventure, how far will they go? Mango Languages for your library